Hey everyone, today we'll be doing a review of the book Star Wars Aftermath: Empire's End. This video is a little late, but I'll be honest, I don't listen to Star Wars books on like 2.5 times speed or just speed read or anything like that. I don't get early access to the book and get to publish my review on the same day it comes out like many popular sites. So with that, I might not always be the first to get a review out, but I did spend a lot of time with the book, so it has some time to sink in. Fair warning, there will be some spoilers, and I will be doing a separate video of my traditional 2-minute spoiler summary as well. With that, let's get on with the review. Star Wars Empire's End is the third and final book in the Aftermath trilogy by Chuck Wendig. And I'll admit, when the first Aftermath came out, I was not enthralled at all. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but just because something says Star Wars on it, I don't automatically give it a glowing review. I believe in being a straight up kind of guy and reviewer. So I trashed Aftermath a decent amount and gave it positives where it was well deserved. What I can say is that from the first book to the third book, the writing has been much improved. There's still so many of those really kind of ridiculous similes he uses for descriptions that do drive you nuts as you read it, but overall the book's not too shabby. So let's get into what I liked about this book. The best things about Empire's End, in my mind, comes down to 3 things. 1, completing the character growth of the stars of the book. Nora, Sloane, Sanjir, Temin, Jazz. Number 2, the Emperor's contingency plan. And number 3, the Battle of Jakku. So let's talk about those 3 points more in depth. On that first part, the character growth. Having a trilogy of books lets an author really dive in and create characters we love over long periods of time. And I have to say that I did really enjoy nearly all of the main characters of these novels. In this book, we get to see Temin grow up, Sanjir find a place in the galaxy, Sloane get a chance to get her empire back in a way. There are many things to like here, and that is where this book gets really good grades from me. On the same topic, I kind of want to give a middle finger to Chuck Wendig for killing Mr. Bones, resurrecting Mr. Bones, and killing him off again permanently, all in the same book. Like, dude, Mr. Bones is one of my favorite characters. Honestly, he's awesome. But if you're going to kill him off and make us go through those emotions, just do it once. I don't know if we can take it twice in such a short amount of time. From a lore perspective, this book is really juicy with all of the Emperor's secret plans, his contingency plans in case of his death, and what he has been planning in the unknown regions. This really gives a lot of information for guys like me, and I just ate it up. So high grades there, and we will discuss that more in depth in separate videos for sure. The Battle of Jakku. I will say, I think the author did a pretty good job for the battle. He's known for giving different perspectives in his writing styles, which sometimes doesn't work, but in a battle of this proportion, giving those different perspectives worked, and it was great. I honestly do want to see a Twilight Company-esque perspective of the Rebel or Imperial troops who fought for months after the main battle was over. Not just the few hours that it seemed to elapse in the book. I think that would be a really cool book, gritty, and, just a survivalist book. But overall, he got the job done in this book. Because the book's focus is on these characters and their stories, and it's not solely a war novel. Okay, now let's discuss what I did not like. I love Nora Wexley, usually. But in the first half of this book, she is a total moron. Literally, her plan is to land on the Empire-infested Jakku by herself to find Sloane, despite everyone telling her not to. She is so bloodthirsty, and were it not for Mr. Bones getting left on the ground in pieces nearby at the Imperial camp, she literally would have died, and that would be the end of her story. And I know she is so angry at Sloane, but man, you just got your kid back, you have a whole team, behind you. The rebellion is willing to go to Jakku with you. Like, they're good to go. But no. Next is Nora's husband, Brenton. He has to kill Gallius Rax first before he can talk to his family. I mean, once you prove that a biochip did all those terrible things, you're good to go. Like, people are gonna believe you. It's easily proven. You know, they have the science, they can do forensics. We can find out that it wasn't you doing all those assassination attempts on Chandrila from Life Dead. But no, you have to run off and kill Rax and ignore your family. I just didn't really buy that narrative. I was cool with him teaming up with Sloane, but it just seemed like, as a father, you know, seeing your wife and son and the possibilities there, just to, like, the Wexley parents' intentions were just so dark, kind of bloodthirsty. It just felt forced to create a certain narrative, and I just didn't buy it like some of the other characters. The first 2/3 of the book is pretty much set up for the Battle of Jakku. So you do get a little antsy as we try to convince some senators to flip their vote to attack, and some things like that. Overall, provides some connecting pieces to the First Order creation and The Force Awakens. And I'm happy to say this book could stand on its own. Previously, I didn't think Aftermath 1 could, and Life Debt was much better. And this one, pretty similar in my review to Life Debt. I would give this about a 3.8 out of 5. When I think about this book, what brings it down is I almost have to review the entire trilogy as a whole, and it's so hard just to review the book as a single entity because it ties back into so many different pieces. And when I think about what story did this trilogy tell? Did it compel me for more? Did it bring out emotion in me as I read? Did it provide great Star Wars moments? Yes and no. Empire's End gives us some characters that I think are some of the better ones created. I cared about most of them and liked how they developed. The grievances, like I've named a few, but some of them just came with some of the writing style, and I felt missed opportunities. I mean, you had an entire trilogy to tell a new story with new characters. Aftermath 1's story isn't great at all in my mind, although the characters are a key part and they are introduced there. Life Debt gives us some more, and Empire's End is a decent finale. So it gets points and loses points in other places. Also, I'm kind of pissed that they haven't confirmed whether or not Boba Fett is alive. They did a lot of interludes. Yeah, his armor is still there, but come on, you gotta give us something in the third book. There's just lots of speculation as to what happened there, and just, you know, after 3 books of, you know, the Tatooine story of interludes, we really don't get anything permanent knowing what happened, which is kind of upsetting. Empire's End is a must-read for connections to the future of Star Wars. Knights of Ren, Unknown Regions, creation of the First Order, building of the New Republic. I mean, this is pretty much a must-read. So overall, Empire's End, giving it 3.8 out of 5. It provides critical details in this book. It can stand alone. I think it has some character flaws, especially in the Wexleys in this book. And I think it has a lot of build-up, but it does pay off. And I feel some of the interludes just weren't as good this time and kind of disappointing. But like I said, this top 3 things: Battle of Jakku, Emperor's Contingency, and the development of the characters really makes this book good. It's just dragged down a little bit because of the overall trilogy's impact. I think could have been way much more. I hope you enjoyed my in-depth review pointing out what I liked and what I didn't like. And if you just want the highlights, tune into my 2-minute summary and future videos for more on Empire's End, because there's a lot to dig through. So what do you all think about this book and the trilogy in general? Let me know what you think about the Aftermath series, comment below, and subscribe to the channel for daily Star Wars videos. I'll see you on the next episode.